welcome to the Work Hates podcast, the podcast about dreadful jobs. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Bretty Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it is a psycho boss or a horrible workplace or an insufferable colleague. And if you've had none of these things, chances are you're the problem.
Guys, this week, we are joined by comedian, actor, man who wore a leather jacket on a gala, Chris Parker. Yeah. I rip him every week. I'm so bad at it. I refuse to do any information. I forgot I had to do the intro again, and I had a panic attack. And the last thing I remember, I was watching your stand-up. Compliment. There you go. And you had this cool leather jacket on. I was like, "Fuck, where did he get that from?"
It's actually like silk, I think, that jacket, but it gives a leather vibe.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't even leather.
Someone lent it to me, and I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And then I put it on, and I thought, this is impractical to do stand-up in.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this looks so hot.
Yeah,
and you're such a physical performer.
Yeah, but that's the good thing about it being sort of like silk. It did move around a little bit, but it was crazy. I was just dressed like a different person that night, but I just kind of leaned into it.
Because we were.
It's amazing when you're like, why am I wearing that? And then it's like there forever, and everyone's like, because that's your vibe. You're like, it's not. It was just my vibe for one night.
Like dress up.
I got that excited.
It's like with that Jerry Seinfeld episode when they give him that big pirate shirt or whatever. Someone gave me and I just wore it. Now I'm not the guy now. I'm not defined by this outfit.
It's so scary when you own like a bit, because then they gave me the jacket. Now I own it, and it's like it's so intimidating. Like I'm intimidated to put it on because you really have. When you put it on, you're like, you have to go out. But I didn't want to go out in the jacket.
It ain't a couch jacket. You know what I mean? Looks like you like belong in a rockabilly dance knife fight
I look
club
like I'm
gang
in
or
an amateur
something.
production of Grease. But I'm like still really gay.
I love this was, and on that intro, so Brett's in charge of the intros.
Oh yes,
and
he did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think
I was going to say that was not the worst one he's done.
I love sort of he's an actor ?
Yeah,
no, because I was like, because I follow you on Instagram because I love all your clips that you do, but I didn't want to say like TikTok because
honestly. Thank you.
That's what, because I was like, you're more than that. You're another level up. So I went with actor.
That.
Thank you.
When someone calls me, like an Instagram comedian, I want to jump off the tallest building I can find.
Oh my God, I would never.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't want to do it, because I was like, you're a good stand-up, but I think you're a good actor as well. Like your clips online fucking make me piss myself. I was excited.
Check that out.
Yeah, no, it's a medical book. I was excited when I got to be a part of one because you're talking about the glass panels in hotels, how like you can see, why do you need to be able to see someone doing a shit from the lounge room?
Yeah.
And I had a ripper one. I sent you a photo of me because I didn't realize that the so I went, it was the first time my family met my brother's family. So my family met my brother's partner's family in Borneo, and we had this like hotel room and we were going to hang out, and I was like, I need to do a quick shit. Right, but they're not here yet. So I went into the room and then like I'm doing the business and I'm like, oh, it must be one of those reverse things, like, you know, in the CSI or Miami or some shit.
They can't see
It's a mirror the other side. It's clear this side. It all makes sense. So I'm just doing a shit in front of my family and they're all reacting weird and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I just see my brother just take out a phone. I'm like, oh, this is not a two-way mirror. And I'm just in a jersey going, yeah. And I was like, thank fuck the other family hadn't rocked up yet.
Just sitting there. Oh wow,
so
beautiful.
sweet.
It's beautiful. I was just down there just doing...
So that's what your comedy has inspired in
glad.
Brett. So that's great.
Yeah,
Thank
to
you.
be a part of it.
Thank you.
That's what it's all about.
And are you enjoying your trip to Australia this time?
I am. This is my third time. No, it was my fourth time here.
Yeah. Well,
I used to come with Snort a lot as well, the improv group. But now I'm doing my own stuff here.
Yeah, great.
This is the best city in this is the best city in the world. The people here are the worst people in the world, but the city here is the
we
best.
just heard the same thing from Larry Dean, because he's like, he said he thinks Australian crowds, Melbourne crowds, are the hardest crowds to perform to.
Isn't that
and
wild?
I
said, I don't think so, because I've heard, haven't been there to do comedy, but I've heard that New Zealand has the hardest crowds.
We're really bad.
And that's why, so Ray O'Leary's theory is that that's the reason why all of you guys are so good, is because you've had you've had to work way harder than us.
The energy of a New Zealand audience is like, so you think you're funny?
Really?
Like that's what they sort of come in with.
They start with that.
They start, and then
as
you sort of
opposed to, I think Americans are like, we're all going to have a great night.
I know.
I hate that.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know. Yeah, that's the. I just find like Melbourne, like I love the city Melbourne, and like, it is great, but just some of the people are just.
Some of the people, like the audience. What about the audience?
The audiences are great. No, I mean like
fun.
people are serving you your coffee, the people you walk down the road with, the people on, they're all just.
Maybe I'm just immune to it because Perth people are cunts in retail and shit. So when I came here, I'm like, everyone's so nice, but they're probably still really shit.
I always feel like I have to like sort of prove myself to get a coffee here, pay for a coffee here. They're like, yeah, what are you doing there, mate? And you're like, oh, just a coffee. There's that, like,
Please, more.
They're like, have you got your certificate and everything? your license to be in here?
You got to crawl through a doggy door to get into the cafe.
Horrible.
They humiliate you.
But the audience have been nice for you. You like the audiences.
Oh, God, yeah. I love
Yeah,
Your
everyone.
crowd's fucking wild because you're in the same venue as me last year.
You've retired, Brett,
Yeah, I've
remember?
retired.
Thank
I
you.
keep saying I've fucking retired. He's
had a year off
He's taken
the
a year off
festival.
from someone who's
Retired.
only done her second solo
You got
show
into golf?
ever. Yeah, I'm into golf. It's my golf era.
Yeah, I love that.
I hate golf. Your crowds were fucking wild.
Yeah, they're just like drunk mums on rosé who've like left the kids at
Perfect.
home and they're just having the time of their lives. And a lot of girlfriends have brought their boyfriends along and the boyfriends
Right.
sort of hate it. Though I did have like an older couple last night who were like, I'm going to say mid to late 70s, maybe 80s.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a fun. How did they find me? And the husband, as soon as I started talking, I think he was like, I'm going to go see stand up tonight. And then I was like, hi, everyone. And he just went,
I made a big
it was like he was
mistake.
on a boat. Like he was just like, just look down at the floor.
Oh,
try not to
no.
be
He
sick.
just realised I've got to do a full hour of this.
I know. He was like, every now and then I'd say something horrible and he'd be like, oh. I was like, I kept apologizing to him. I
Was
was
he
like,
in the front
Really?
row?
he's the front row.
Oh, the fuck.
It's always the ones who like don't want to be there the most that sit in the front,
Front row,
row.
absolutely. I had
Doing
one
like,
guy.
Oh, I can see you.
Yeah, one guy last night sat in the front row, and I said, 10 minutes in, and he hadn't moved. He was sitting way more upright than everyone else. Everyone was like, it was Easter Sunday.
Maybe
Everyone
been
was
a hostage or
relaxed.
something. Maybe he's held at
Maybe.
gunpoint.
And his girlfriend was.
She's like,
was
enjoy the show.
Otherwise, we're through. But he sat there and he just kind of stared at me like through his eyebrows, and I was like, okay, this is actually off-putting. So I said, hey mate, are you good? You're right.
Oh, you had to go at him.
Oh, and he goes, yep. And I said, yeah, because it just like you seem way more uptight than everyone else. Like we're relaxed. It's Sunday. We're having a nice time. There's nothing serious.
You're so scary, Bron.
What? I just wanted him to.
You got a fucking problem, mate?
Yeah, exactly.
Because everyone
Did he?
else around you's having a good time, and you don't mind matching that energy.
You
But he
gentle
said-
parented this
and
poor
he
guy.
said, he goes, I've got a really sore back. And I said, yeah. And what's wrong with your face? And he said, nothing. And I said, just try and smile. Because I like when women telling men to smile. I think it's nice. Just turn it on. And he went, okay. And then he had to try and smile. You know when people don't smile, they've never smiled before? It kind of, you can hear it.
You can hear it. It's like
In your show, there was a guy sitting uncomfortably who's had a back injury, and then you said, "What's your problem?" He says, "I've fucked my back," and then you said, "Can you try smile?" And then he gave you a live smile.
He gave a smile. It
this
worked.
is insane, Bron.
No, it's not. And then he
You force a
and then-
man with a permanent back injury who's probably in a wheelchair.
No, he wasn't. He was
was
in
a
a
desk in
chair.
crutches.
He was
It
crutches.
was
Yeah, yeah.
fine. He loved it. And then at the end of
Can
the
you please love me?
You know, I asked him so many questions. I wanted him to feel a part of it because I just kept saying to him, I can see your face. Like I said, did you choose the front row? Because this is what I'm always amazed by. When
Yeah.
people sit in the front row and they're unsure of it or
Yeah.
they don't want to be in
But
the front row.
I think with festival venues, they're kind of fucked because they push you in.
I asked him that. I said, did they
course
force you
you
to
did.
sit here?
No
I was
wonder
so
you went over.
interested.
You berated this man for
But
30
yeah.
minutes.
Can you talk to me about your relationship with your mother?
I need to
Let's get to
figure
the
out
core of you.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this guy?
how this
Did
started.
you have a happy childhood?
I know where he lives. I know which suburb he was from. I know
took
everything.
I took a friend to a show and they did something which I didn't realise, but the comedian would have known the whole time. It was a small room. It was only 4 seats deep.
Yeah.
And I went and she fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I said, what did you think of the show? She says, I don't know. I fell asleep for the whole thing.
Oh, no.
And she goes, the room was just so comfortable. The chair was so
Yeah.
comfortable. And I was so tired or whatever. I was like, he would have seen that the whole time.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of know the guy. So in his mind, it's like, Brett's here with this nightmare. It's like,
You're like, oh, They had a back injury.
They had a back injury, and Thank God, Bron. Excuse me. Why are you sleeping?
I wouldn't have pointed that out.
I've had someone sleep in the show of mine.
Yeah, because I've fallen asleep in a show.
You would have just punched him in the throat.
You would have put him to sleep properly. Just fucking.
All right, buddy. All right.
You want to sleep? Well, here's the long one. Yeah.
If they're in the front row, maybe I'd address it. But if they're in the back, I don't want people to think that people are going to sleep in my show. I'd just leave it. And I've also fallen asleep in a show, and a good show.
Yeah.
And I'm just because the room's dark. If it's warm,
I'm getting to that point now where I'll fall asleep, and I think 80% of the movies I see.
Absolutely.
But I still review them on Letterboxd. I'm just like, great film, slept twice. But around all of that, and if I only see it once, I'm like, sign of a good film.
Yeah, well, great writing because I missed a large portion and I still knew what was happening. You know what I mean? I was still enthralled.
Plot didn't really go anywhere because I fell asleep for an hour and I was still sort of in the same space when I woke up.
I fell asleep. I made my girlfriend come and watch at the time Fast and the Furious because I find the whole franchise ridiculous, and I fell asleep for the whole 2 hours of it. And she's like, she just had to watch. She's so angry. She's like, I just had to watch this film for no reason then, and I was like.
That's the only way I sleep.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know why. I just fell asleep. Yeah.
I hate horror movies. I hate them.
I can't do anything to jump. I can only watch them on a plane because I'm safe.
Safe.
Yeah, I like that.
Because nothing can get you on a plane.
Nothing. There's no danger. But I am terrified of them. They make me feel horrible for weeks or months, maybe even years, like just because my hallway in my house at night time, I have to get up to my kids all the time, and every single time I have to walk down that hallway at night, I think the lady from The Ring is crawling behind me.
Do you run?
Yeah.
That's so nice to think of, like, your parents being such a symbol of safety and security, and then, as a child, your experience is them coming to check on you, but you don't know that behind that they're like, oh fucking Jesus,
she's coming, she's crawling,
love you, no,
I hate them.
Running down the hallway.
Good night, the boogeyman won't come. I don't fucking think he won't anyway.
If you lady from The Ring will.
Blankets, they can't get you.
But when I was 18, I was living in Ireland with my then boyfriend, and I wanted to see Nanny McPhee. That's when it was out.
Is that a horror, is it?
No. I see if I wouldn't want to see a horror. Okay. And he worked at the cinemas, and he said, okay, well, I've got 2 tickets to Nanny McPhee. And I was thrilled. I said, yeah, great, let's go. And then we went into the cinema. And I was like, this is so weird. There's no kids here. I was like, that's great. It was validating for me because I thought, well, they also adults like kids' movies. That's cool. We're fine. It's going to be a beautiful time. She's got a big tooth. I sat down watching the shorts, at the start, and they were all kind of like quite serious. And I was like, this is weird. Lucky there aren't any kids in here. And he seemed very smug, and I didn't really notice. I didn't really think too much about it. And then a really long short started. This preview went for ages, and it was terrifying. And it was for Saw. Remember the horror movie Saw?
Oh yeah, that one was.
And I was like, I said to him, we're never seeing this, and why is it going for so long? And it took me a while to go, this is the movie. This is Saw. This is Saw.
The longest trailer. It's gone for like an hour and a half.
he goes, yeah, I tricked ya. And I was so angry because I had to watch the entire movie. I've blacked out for a bit.
I see why now you call people out in your audience for not smiling. You've been traumatized.
We actually got to the root of this now.
I am upset still. I was 18. I'm 37 now. I'm almost at the 20-year anniversary of the day that changed me forever.
I got fucked up by because pranks are funny, particularly when you got brothers and cousins and shit. You know, like the Candyman. And you got to go into the bathroom and say Candyman 3 times. But I didn't realise one of my cousins was hiding, it was a family barbecue. A cousin was hiding in the bathroom in a cupboard. And my
didn't have a glass window with him doing his shit behind it? Okay, that's weird.
I had no idea. If I only had that technology.
Say the Candyman 3 times and Brett will turn up shitting on your toilet.
Yeah. It's me again. And then I did it 3 times. They hit the light, closed the door, locked me in, and then someone, my other cousin just grabbed me, and I was like, ah! And it fucking ruined me forever.
Yeah.
Shit is traumatizing.
Yeah.
Those kids are like, I'm going to have that for 15 years.
I still think about it. But I got my brother back with you said the lady with the what was it?
The ring?
So
the lady with the black hair.
When that
over
movie
her face.
came out, me and my mate had seen it. But we had it on like a weekly hire or something. And my brother liked to watch horror at the time, and he'd flicked all the lights off in the house. And he didn't know, because I was at my mate's house across, we jumped the fence. And I put the phone in the lounge room, like underneath the couch. And he closed it all in. And then we were at the window and just at the thing, after the call, 7 days. And we did that. And he's like, what the fuck? And then we just both started banging on the window. And he was like, ah! Like, fuck you, cunt. I've been waiting fucking 5 years to do that to you. Such a long
Worth
bow.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're one of 4, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you in the middle? You're number 3.
I'm 3. Yeah, I'm 3 out of 4.
Yeah, same. Oh, except we're 5, but we don't count the other one.
Yeah. Is the other one an accident?
Because she was in a new relationship with my mum's. She's halfway there.
Halfway there.
Yeah.
God,
she's
don't you let her know about it.
Yes, she's different. You're different to us. We just call her that girl. And did you get bullied by your brothers and sisters?
Yeah. You get broken down.
Yeah.
Brother, for sort of more physically, like he would do stuff like spitting on my pillow before I go to bed.
Oh, dude, that is so rank.
It's so rank.
Man,
My brother spit was just horrible.
My brother
and it
used
ruined
to
a night.
spit in my ear. And you're like, what the fuck?
It just ruined a night's sleep, It's just a way but it's a real good way to if there was someone who really spited me, I would just love to do that. Like a horrible politician, just get into their room, spit on their pillow and be like, fucking job well done.
But then,
just ruined their night.
Did you go get a new pillowcase or anything? Or you just
you're like 9 years old, you're like, well, this is my luck now.
I have no other options.
I'm going to see mum who's watching Sex in the City and be like, Mum, he spit on my pillow. She'd be like, fuck off, it's 9:30, I'm done with you up. And then my sister was, because we shared the middle spot, we just psychological warfare just every day. But then my younger sister was born 6 years after me, and we became the Littlies, and so we would just dress each other up and have our weird little make believe worlds, and then my older siblings did whatever they did, real things.
But I love it, even though there was a gap of 6 years. You were like, we've got heaps in common. Yeah. She was a newborn.
Yeah, I raised her. Mum was absolutely done by that point. She's like, that's your child.
Yeah, close enough, I guess. The
I was
microwave's there.
I was 6 years old. I was putting her to bed. It was just like,
don't put
Mum was like, I'm tired.
Don't put the fork in the toaster. That's all I know.
That's
So, Grace, this podcast is about nightmare work stories, and you disclosed to us before we hit
you're
recording
I've never worked
that you
a day
have zero work experience.
And honestly, you've got that vibe, dude.
I've never done a hard day's work in my life, but I have done some weird jobs.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
You've done loads of things. So Bretti's bio didn't cover most of the things that you've done. You you've written, and did you direct?
This season I did, a little bit.
Amazing. So he's done heaps of things, Bretty.
I work in
showbiz,
jacket. But no one wants to hear about that because we're scum and we're the Illuminati.
I love the show.
But before that, I've had my first ever job was almost Dickensian. I was sweeping up leaves outside an old bank. It feels like it's something from the Edwardian.
Yeah.
And I also feel like you would make it feel and look like that as
well.
Yeah.
Just lean into the character.
We didn't ask you to be dressed up as a chimney sweep. Yeah. He's doing one of those characters again.
There were not a lot of leaves either. And my dad would because he would drive to work and I would be in the car with him on the way to work. And then I got this job. And so he would sit in the car and watch me sweep the leaves and be like, put your back into it. He would kind of yell from the car. You're because he's just watching his pathetic, feeble, gay son, sort of usher leaves around the house. And he'd just watch from the car being like, oh my God, you call yourself a man. Get in there.
I'll fucking do it.
I remember once he got out of the car and he was like this.
And he's not even the boss.
No, he was just I can't handle watching the leaves push Chris around this pavement.
The leaves are fighting back somehow.
How long was the shift?
How are you letting the leaves bully you?
How long was the shift?
It was 15 minutes before school. I would sweep up the leaves and then I'd take $10 out of a little lockbox. I was it's
pretty good money. $10 for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a job you would give a 9-year-old, and I was 14 when I had it. But I would save that money, $10, and then that would give me enough money to get Smirnoff Ice for the one party I was invited to that month.
And those Smirnoff Ice, the double blacks,
yeah,
they used to fuck
Do
you up.
ever crave them?
No.
Sometimes I'm like, You know when you like want a little nostalgic treat? Sometimes I'm like, I could really just go a little Smirnoff Black.
I never got, but
Cheeky
like
one.
those old shitty beers that they used to have. I always often think about them, like the
Yeah.
Tooheys New or the
I kind
Tooheys
of want one
Platinum.
now.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Like
get into
cold
it.
on
I'll find
ice, like
one.
a little frosty Smirnoff Black.
Look,
It's
I'm
just
an
like-
alcoholic,
Then
so
go
yeah, I'll
kiss a
do
girl. Like that's what I want to do. It's like have a Smirnoff Black and then kiss a girl.
Really relive your youth.
It's
Yeah,
nostalgic for me in
then
this
sweep
weird
some
way.
leaves,
Yeah,
get
then
yelled
go
at by
watch
my
like
dad.
musical theatre clips and then be like, who am I? You know, that's what I want to do. I just want to go trip down memory road.
I'm so confused. Sweep the leaves, Chris. Put your fucking back into it.
That was my first ever job. I never actually ever met the people who own the bank. I think the bank has now
Oh.
since closed.
Yeah, too many leaves.
I also think sweep your own fucking leaves.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big ask, but they were
also,
like, "Oh,
how
we've got to
many-
outsource this." No wonder the bank closed.
Yeah.
They're probably taking the money out of people's accounts to pay me.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not
Did
their
you?
money.
But how? Like, I did not know banks gave a shit about the
Anything.
outside. No,
No.
they
Maybe they
don't
just
care
wanted a
about
nice clean,
anything.
but maybe it was one of those things they might have done. It's like, we're giving back to the community. You
This
know, we're
poor
helping
little
the
man.
youth out learn the value of money or something like that.
Yeah, it was an odd job, but you know. The value of hard work. And then probably I worked in hospo for a long time, like, but you know, some
Yeah.
shit bars. And then my first proper real job, I was a mall center.
At a what?
A mall Santa, Santa
Yeah.
Claus at the mall. That is
I was like, what is a
awesome.
mole Santa?
A mole center.
He doesn't
understand
He's,
your accent.
he hides in little dirt holes,
Right.
and then pops up in people's lawns and gives the kids gifts and
beautiful.
heart
Sounds
attacks.
great.
Terrifying.
Mole Santa's here.
Yeah, but okay, so you're mall Santa Claus, but like what? You're working 2 weeks a year?
You start in November when no one wants a photograph.
Yeah.
I was doing the Westfield, which was a pretty big gig, and
Yeah, I'm a Westfield guy.
Westfield guy.
I'm not the.
I met all the Santas for all of New Zealand. And we had to go to a big conference where they're like, for the love of God, don't touch the kids. And so
Oh my
They
god.
needed a conference to tell you
they
that.
got it. You got to do it. You got to do it, and you got to get the police check and everything, which I failed. But but we're in this big conference, and then I got the Westfield job. You start in November, and people are like actively not looking at you because they don't want to acknowledge that it's the end of the year.
Right.
They've still got work to do. They're like, I can't handle you yet. And you'd be like, okay, ho, ho, ho. And so they would just walk past me. So I would watch the sun shine through the skylight of the mall and hit like a bit of the floor. And I'd watch for 3 hours the sun
my
move along the floor
gosh.
because you couldn't be on your phone and you couldn't talk to people because you were Santa. So you just had to sit there and look into the distance of the mall. And when it hit a certain tile, I knew that 3 hours had passed. And my shift was
Wow.
up.
So sad.
Ye oldie time
Saddest
telling.
thing I've ever heard.
Holy
But also,
hell.
like, you're like, I couldn't be on my phone. Just like Santa's just like,
Yeah, imagine it's like, what? Oh, Merry Christmas. Sorry.
yeah. I was watching a TikTok. Fuck off.
Do kids really annoying?
The kids were sweet. The kids were so nice. It was the
Yeah.
parents that were annoying. Like, and the whole thing is for them. Like, the whole lie is this fucking thing that the parents have made up for their kids so that they will behave better at the worst time of the year. And they would always come up to me and be like, oh, Santa's a bit young this year. Santa's a bit skinny this year. And like, kind of make these digs in front of their kids. And I was like, the kid doesn't care.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
No,
Like, this
but
is
also-
all. Why are you doing this?
Also,
Why
thank
you-
you so much for two compliments.
I was like, well, thanks. Yeah, exactly.
God, it must have sucked on to work. All these people are hitting on you.
Yeah, all these mums.
Yeah.
But then you meet some like real sad people as well who one time it was like I was doing like a night shift at Santa. It was like must have been like 9 o'clock in the mall. It was like the 23rd of December.
Oh yes, all the
And
bad
it was
mums who were like,
just
quick.
chaos. It was chaos in
Yeah.
the mall. And I was like, oh, you bastards didn't want a piece of me in November. And here you all are trying to get a piece of me
Rolling
now.
back. Get on your knees.
And this woman came up to me and she's at the end of her tether, like she's pulled out half her hair and she's just like, hi, I'm looking for a pink whistle. That's all my son wants. It's a pink whistle. And I don't know if, and she like looks at my Santa sack that's filled with like lollies for the kids. And she, honest to God, thought I was going to magically pull out
No,
the
she
whistle
thought
and be
you were
like,
real.
oh, of course, I've got like from the North Pole itself.
Yeah, I'm actually Santa. You tricked her.
And I was like, have you tried Rebel Sport? Like, I just didn't know what to say to this woman. And then she realized.
You got to stay in character here.
Aisle 7. She realized she was talking to a 24-year-old and was just like, I'm actually having a breakdown. And she's like, I've got to go. And then ran off into the night.
Yeah, I reckon she would have had a good hard look at herself after that, being like, I spoke to Santa tonight to try and solve my problem.
Well, I saw that in your eyes, Bronny, not the panic, but the like, because when I dropped you off the other night, you're like, it was like 11 or 12 o'clock, and you're like, I've got to go put out Easter eggs for the kids.
Yeah.
Because
I was like, just open the window and throw them out. They'll fucking find them.
You've experienced this on the other side. I mean, how do you find that time of year?
It's actually horrible to go to the shop. I hate going to the shopping centre.
Shopping centres throughout the year fucking suck, but Christmas time, I'm like, you couldn't pay me to go in there.
But now with Easter, I have to because I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and the 8-year-old still believe. A 10-year-old doesn't believe anymore.
You can't blame
10 year.
They're big fans of Mum's work.
Yeah, they love this, especially.
I'm going to catch the podcast this week.
Chris
was spectacular.
But the 8-year-old still very much believes, and she's so sweet. And the 3-year-old, we're like teaching him what it like. So there's 3 very different stages there. So we kind of have to adapt to all 3.
And the 10-year-old's getting into gaslighting. They're like, oh, this is a bit of fun.
No, but we have to write clues. So they each get like a big egg, and then there's like heaps of little eggs everywhere. But they wanted clues, and Edie, the middle one, had written this beautiful, so cute. Her handwriting's so fucked. She's like, it's like she writes with her feet, and I should fix it, but it's too cute. And so she's written like to the Easter Bunny, and like, thank you so much. Do you know the Tooth Fairy, and do you know Santa? Yes/no. Can you please make the Easter egg hunt harder this year? Last year it was really easy. I'm like, fucking hell.
She knows.
And then
she knows.
says,
She's like, Mum's been lazy.
She doesn't know.
Well, it's comedy festival, so you get what you give her.
Yeah. Mum's fucking tired.
The Easter Bunny's actually doing a show in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
You've left those cans of Shiraz that we're talking about just all around the garden. Go find Mum's Shiraz cans.
But it said, like, can you please leave us clues? They're really fun. What colour is your fur? Thank you so much. I love you so much. Love Edie. And obviously I had to do all those things because I could be the last year that she, like, even if she is kind of like, I think this is Mum. Like, I'm like, that's too cute to like let it go. So Brady dropped me off after this gig on the Saturday night.
Maybe she's gaslighting
like 11.
you.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
I love that you went home and did this beautiful thing for your family, and I just drank rum and watched dirt bike videos.
Yeah, we're the same person.
same life. Yeah.
Same person. Yeah, so I think I do love this time of year, and I love how excited kids get over this stuff. It's so
they just
lovely.
like it. Whereas the parents are like, I found as the mall centers, the parents who are the ones who are kind of ruining it. And actually, weirdly, a bunch of teenagers would like mockingly get photos. And then
I used to do that,
I had a friend's like little brother or whatever upload an album of like on Facebook, and there was like a mall center photo, and it was me. And they didn't realize it was me, and I was tagged as creepy pedo Santa.
Have you still got this photo?
I don't know where it is. I was like, oh my God.
It's my best
You're about to
face.
write, it was me, and then you're like, no, I reckon I'll leave this one. Yeah.
Hey boys, that's me. It was so
See you
bad.
soon.
I was like, can you be a creepy pedo when you're 24 years old?
Yeah,
Like, fuck.
yep, you can. And then did you only do it for 1 year?
I actually went back for a second year and did it again.
Was the money good?
It was like $26 an hour. Or
That's
something.
fucking good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really good. And I was like, just finished drama school. So I was like, I've made it.
Yeah, you were already
This is the
acting.
job of a lifetime.
Man, all these other
I'm already acting. Showbiz. And then
And then back to the sun.
moving across. Back to follow your light. In my second year, they had do you Harvey Norman? Harvey Norman, yeah. So they do free photos. And that's crazy. It's crazy there. And that's when people are there in November as well, because they just, you go for a free photo. And so I would turn up at 15 minutes before the gig in my
Gig.
Yeah, in my civvies where no one could see me. And there would be like a line around the block already. And I'd be like, Jesus. Because they replaced me because the previous Harvey Norman Santa got kicked out of the doing it because apparently he looked too unwell in all the photos. So they brought me in.
Oh my God.
This guy with cancer.
They didn't like the old guys. They
We
liked the
need
young
the
guys.
creepy pedo one.
Yeah.
It's way better.
I'm the man for the job. And I would have to go into the accessible
unwell.
toilets where my Santa suit would be like there, and then I'd like lock the door, get changed, and then I'd come out of the toilet and fully Santa Claus, and then they'd leave me my clothes like on the grubby toilet floor to get changed after the 3-hour gig. And then one time I was so like, I was like, get me out of this. I'm so sick of this.
Yeah.
I was like, bye, 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 Merry Christmas, going to the toilet. I just take it all off. And my clothes aren't
No.
there. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And so I run around Harvey Norman in like half Santa get up.
You
like
ruined it for
I had my
everyone.
white brows, my rosy cheeks, no wig, no beard, just like a red singlet, just being like, has anyone seen my clothes?
Did someone do it as a prank, you reckon?
Nah, they just didn't care.
Oh, so you just ruined Christmas for
Did
all
any
the
kids
I was
see
children
the
in
guy
there.
that was bringing people in for free photos, but no one was buying anything at Harvey Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably ruined someone's Christmas, but you know.
You can't win them all.
So you didn't get your clothes back? They were gone forever?
No, I got them back eventually.
Where
but
were
they were like, oh, sorry, we didn't bring them in, put them on the grubby toilet floor. We'll go do that now for you. Which is nice.
beautiful.
And they would have gone,
That's
as soon as you
actually
left, they were like, look at this fucking diva.
24 thinks he's everything.
Yeah.
All these paid actors.
Gets his
Oh
big
my
break
God.
and $26 an hour. Double what we're getting, mind you.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
put him on the fucking piss stain on the floor.
So do you reckon that's the worst job you've ever had? Because that sounds pretty bad.
It was pretty like,
I think it would be. I reckon it looks fun, but you'd be like,
I think you've got it in you, to be honest.
I don't like kids. I don't know how to talk to kids.
you?
No, I'm like, oh, what do you want?
It really, like, shifts your relationship with like dealing with babies and stuff. Because I was like, I don't know how to hold a baby, and before you know it, like
Oh, yeah, I
you're
couldn't-
holding like 200 babies a day.
Yeah.
One of them had a hospital tag still on. It was like 4 days old, and it was like
bless.
grabbing my like synthetic plastic beard and was just like hoovering it down its mouth, and I was
that's
like,
not good.
oh my god.
Bron would have been
Killed
like,
it.
what are you doing?
Can you smile?
Can you smile, please? I'm Santa. Everyone else has got a great vibe around here.
And there was
Yeah,
an
they
age
would've
where they
responded
just
well.
would always lose their shit. Like I think it
Yeah,
was just about
terrifying.
one there.
Yeah.
They were just old enough to. Underneath that, they're just like, ugh, they just get moved around. They're just little beings. But then when they start having a little mind, and they're
Yeah,
like,
'cause Santa's
who is this
terrifying.
creepy pedo guy?
Yes.
Then
Those
they would
kids on Facebook were right.
they do that classic back arch where they turn
Yeah.
into a slide, and they just would slide down onto the floor. And I just
Because you can't grab them,
I couldn't
right?
handle them, so I just let them
Slide to the ground
to the floor, and
into
then I
a
just
pile of pink
kick 'em to the
whistles.
mum. So that's yours.
Did any of them like ever spew or shit?
Yeah,
or
they shit. All them like because you'd hold the babies and then you just feel them like fill their pants.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I cried heaps about Santa when I was a kid. Every single Santa
traumatizing.
photo I had, it was me just having the worst time. And my mum and my nan used to scream laughing at it. They were like, look at this shit.
This is where
So many origin stories
Yeah.
coming out today. Everyone was laughing at me. But I remember being terrified and I couldn't understand. So I felt so unsafe. And the people who were supposed to keep me safe were just shoving me into this
Yeah.
man.
and then taking a photo
If it
while
makes you
laughing.
feel
And
any
then
better,
laughing.
Santa was probably having a worse experience because he was a
Absolutely.
22-year-old closeted drama school graduate who wasn't knowing what was going on with his life.
Poor Santa.
Poor Santa, eh?
I'm sorry, Santa. I've really I've upset you. I hope you fulfilled all your dreams. But you have fulfilled all your dreams because you are now a very successful comedian, actor, question mark, director, etc., author. You are not TikTok comedian. I would never say that.
Thank
I
you very
wouldn't
much. I
dream
appreciate
of
that.
Now, what is the worst gig you've ever had? Because your most like for your longest career or your longest job has been in comedy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great.
It was probably only just very recently where I did a gig. I got booked for one.
Was
a
it a
corporate?
Oh, yes. I love that word because I'm like, give it to me.
Yeah.
Because I reckon my theory is 1 in 4 is good.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%.
okay, 25%.
I reckon
okay.
you get paid to eat shit.
Yes.
I was chatting with Mel Buttle about this. They're like, oh, this money, I got paid this much for this gig. And they're like, that's a lot of money to random people. And you go, no, because those people will never, ever come and see me again. So that fee is for all the times
They won't
that they
buy
will
a
never
ticket.
see me in
Yeah,
the future.
great.
They're like, I'm definitely never seeing this guy again.
It was for like one of our biggest construction companies in New Zealand, and they were like, "Oh, we wanted to like work on diversity and inclusion, and we wanted something a little bit different." And I was like, "Well, it sounds like what you actually wanted is a human sacrifice." And
My God.
I performed in front of like 300 road workers at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my
And
It's also the time is like it's
the end of
already
their shift.
even does not the construction part. 9 a.m. You're already fucked.
and the lights were on, and like usually in stand up they're dark.
So,
and
are they,
Yeah.
so there's 300 people. Are they seated?
They're
Is there a
seated.
stage? Is there a
A little
mic?
stage, there's a mic. They're all seated. The lights are all on, and so because usually they're dark, they were all in high vis. So if anything, they were more visible than an audience ever would be. It's like insane.
Oh my
It
God.
was just so surreal. But like, it was a fine gig, but I just remember being like, oh, how am I ever supposed to relate to these guys? And it's,
Yeah. And so were you like the host?
And
of
I had
the
to do it
art-
twice.
And,
Oh, because
what,
two
like the
different
next-
Because
groups.
they had
The
a
night
night
shift.
shift and a morning
Oh,
shift, and so I had to do the
fucking
night shift
and-
boys, and then I did the.
But there
morning
wasn't
shift.
anything. No, it was just horrible. It wasn't anything specific.
They
It
were
was just,
like, it's 9 a.m. I'm like, what
Yeah.
could you possibly want
can't.
from me? What do I possibly want from you? Like, everyone's waking up. They're rubbing their eyes. They're just like,
this gig sounds so bad. And then was it just like 20 minutes of stand up or like?
I was hosting the whole
You were hosting the
event.
whole thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was pretty
okay.
good. Learned a lot about the road. But I reckon I've made a few fans out of it.
Great.
Just now when I'm driving around Auckland, there'll be a couple of roadwork guys who'll be like, "You're that fucking idiot." They'll egg my
they're
car.
always stopping you. You're like, oh, fuck, how come everyone else can go?
They're
Like,
just holding their little lollipop signs just constantly on stop, being like, "Yeah, I'm pausing you like you ruined my morning."
took you 20 minutes of my life. I'm taking 20 minutes of yours.
Exactly.
I did one corporate where I thought I was going to win because it was all Sparkies, electricians, and I was in a room like this, and I was like, "There's no stage," and she's like, "No, there's no stage," but they're all standing, and they're all bigger than me as well, and I was noticeably like I was bombing, but the wait staff came in to hand out calamari or whatever, and in their mind, whatever I was doing was notably different to what anyone else in that room was doing. So they just walked up as I was doing comedy and was like, "Oh, do you want any calamari?" And I was like,
No, the chewiest food
may
ever.
as well. And then I just went back, and then the lady came back with pies like 10 minutes later. I'm like, because in her mind, it was like, nothing here is different. Like, there's no stage, it's just a guy just talking loudly in a
Oh
pub.
my God. You do talk loudly.
I do talk loudly,
Yeah, she would
yeah.
have no idea the difference.
I've done a
that's
bit of
hell.
like hospo work as well. Like that was, I feel like it hasn't been all showbiz. Like
Okay.
I worked in a few grotty bars.
Young, you got to get into hospo because it's like fun. You drink, you meet some good friends.
And I think it's important for sort of character development. When I meet someone and they're like rude to waiters, I'm like, "Oh, you have never
worked hospo.
You've
If you
never
see
been a
like a
hospo."
clicker, you're like,
Oh
you've
my
never
God.
worked.
I will just backhand one of
Yeah,
my friends
great.
if they do that because I'm just like, I haven't been on that side.
Yeah.
And I've worked the gamut. I worked from like the dodgiest, grossest bar.
Yeah.
There was one that was like, it was so, and we did 2 Red Bull vodkas for $10. And
That's a bad time.
permanently had like a bruise under my thumb from opening cans all night.
All night. That's because that's cheap. That is
That's
So,
cheap.
well, the
drink.
secret was you'd split the Red Bull can in half, and so it was
put
And if
ice.
you're getting into business, I mean that's just a little idea I have off the top of my head. But I remember once I heard this explosion from behind the bar, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I turned around, and one of the glassies, like the glass had exploded in his hand. He was like, "Oh, he was the manager actually." He was just like picking up some glass for an extra, because we were short staffed, and he had a bit of glass in his finger.
Yep.
And I remember watching him as he pulled it out and just wiped it off and then just continued like polishing glasses. And I was like, I've got to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is the word.
That's dedication that doesn't need to happen.
I got a flashback to the most horrible work injury. You know those big brollies they have out the front of pubs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're kind of a fucking nightmare to jack, right?
Mm.
But I used to work with this guy, Joey, who was tiny.
Oh, I'm so scared about where the story's going.
I love
You
it.
should be. And so he was little, so he used to get a check and jump and get it and like pull the cord.
He's tiny.
He's tiny. Little dude, they were big brollies. Big
Okay.
fucking brollies.
Yeah.
Huge. And
He's
you need a
jumping.
little mini ladder to get to him. But he used to jump and slide doan. But you know that little bit that you tie the rope off?
like-
Oh,
he
yes.
slid down and it opened up his ball bag.
Oh, wow, that is.
Yeah. Because he put his hand down there and it came out with blood. And I was like, we need to get you to the hospital, mate. And he goes, they're out of the bag. And I was like,
Oh my God.
oh my God. Oh my, okay.
Oh.
Okay, well, get in the car, get in the car.
Oh my
I'm sorry for sharing that. I think I've
God.
ruined the vibe.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Because you know when you're having a conversation with people and then a story kind of pings in your head, but then you go, that's too full on.
I don't have that button. I don't have that button.
I then worked in a pretty swish like bar for a while that was filled with just like cougars and who had just like come out of their first, their marriage got their money and they're looking for a young toy boy. Like it was
The Mustang bar in Perth, I remember it well. If you wanted to get hit on aggressively by a lady in leopard skin pants, you would feel good about yourself.
It was like going to the zoo. Like it was just incredible. Like the behavior that was going on, that just like, and we just all the Pinot Gris and the Prosecco, and then you just sort of watch the night play out. And it was just amazing. I remember once someone getting like one of our waiter trays and like throwing it like a frisbee and then it hitting another woman in the back of the head while she was sipping out of her glass and the wine glass smashed in her face. And I remember just like being like, what is this place?
What is it? It's
just
like
no one cares.
Coyote Ugly,
and
but
you watch
fucked.
these like, women in their 50s just acting like children and like running around drunk, tripping over things, like chipping the. After the age of 20, you shouldn't have a graze. You know what I mean? And then all these women were coming out with like grazes on their
Different
arms.
chips on their teeth and like opening beer bottles and shit. Like who the
crazy.
fuck? Man, I still think like that age group. Yeah, well, after they got the divorce, are the scariest women ever because they're like, I'm fucking.
Yeah, I
doing
know
what
my
want.
worth.
I
I've
know
got
who
my money.
money.
I'm ready to,
I've got a house. Fuck
No
you.
one's ever going to tell me what to do. I'm not going to cook tuna mornay ever again. That
And
kind
fuck
of.
Steve.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And they always go in packs. They always move in packs because
I love when they got a daughter who's can go out as well, and it's the mum and daughter combo, and they're both equally wild and just hunting for dick. It's hilarious.
And I'd go around and take their orders, and I got so good at the job that I could,
Guess?
I don't, It's not that I got so good at the job, it's that every single person there ordered the same, throwing a
Cosmopolitan.
bottle of Chardonnay
Yes.
and the loaded wedges. And it would just happen. I know. They were pathetic.
That is not a good combo.
No,
It's
it
rough.
is not, but they were great wedges, weirdly. And they were sort of famous in the area for. Anyway, they were pissed, so they honestly needed them.
Yeah.
And every time I'd walk around and they'd be like, okay, so we're going to order. And then they'd be like, are you not going to get out your pen and paper and write it down? I was like, I honestly reckon I could guess what you're about to have. And they're like, nice try. We're going to get a bottle of Chardonnay and a load of wedges. I'm like, no sweat, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
it's already coming.
I don't need to write that order down because I've written
when
it
you
down
came in.
15,000 times today. It's the same. We actually don't have anything else.
And then I went into, I started doing hospital and like almost fine dining.
Oh, yeah.
And it was my first job when I moved to Auckland, and I was like, yeah, I've worked hospital, but I'd worked grotty pubs and the Cougar Bar.
next level scares
I
me.
hadn't done this like next level before, and I truly had no idea what I was doing, and I was just faking it so hard. And it was like one of those places where the chef would be like, they're sweating, they're angry, and the service is going out, and they'd be like, and they'd run you through the plate, what was on the plate, and then you'd have to take that to the, when you get at a fancy restaurant, the plate comes down, they're like, so what we have here is,
Yes.
and then the waiter will talk
No
you through
one's
it.
listening.
And I didn't know I had to do that. And so the chef would be like, off you go. And then I would not take it in. I'd be like,
Why
Yeah.
is he telling me all this shit? I
and
don't
so
care.
I would
don't
walk
care.
down to the table, place it down, and they'd be like looking at me, and I'd be like, so what we have here is a sustainably caught terrakihi with and then it was like nasturtium, which is this like weed that the herb thing that and I could not catch what the chef was saying, and so I was like, with a nasturtium, and I would mumble and just walk away, and they'd be like, what
is it?
And I was seeing if I could get away with making sounds that sounded like words and hopefully they wouldn't ask for clarification.
yeah.
I'd literally be like, this is a lovely lamb rump with a shrimp and a beautiful chard. Enjoy.
I reckon if you it's like comedy. Start strong, finish strong.
Yeah,
Bye.
I'm going to give you the vibe that I'm saying that there's
Yeah,
food here.
this is kind of the
but I'm
energy
literally
of the
making
mood.
full sounds.
This might surprise you. It surprised me. Did you know the last person who talked about being a fine dining waiter on this podcast was Bev Killick? Have you worked with Bev Killick before?
No, but I love Bev.
I love it.
We all love Bev.
Bev
She's
Killick.
the best person in the world.
And when we asked her, "Is there ever been a shift where you've that you've lost the plot and screamed at everyone and left?" That was one of hers.
Silver service.
She had many, actually. I don't think she's left a job without doing that.
No.
I would just sort of like, I don't think I've ever like stormed out of a job though. Like I feel like I've just ghosted people. Like
a lot of people ghost. A lot of people are like, I'm just not going to answer the phone again.
Yeah, and it's quite freeing. I still kind of, I'm probably on the pay roster for like 10 cafes around like Auckland and
He'll be
Wellington.
back. He'll be back.
He'll be back. Yeah,
you know the guy we saw on the television with that great jacket? It's Silk. He'll be back.
I remember this one woman would be like, I worked at this cafe and we had to like keep filling up the water glasses, like just to the point, you know, when you sometimes it's too much and you're eating it and you're like, my bladder's gonna fucking explode. I've had so much water because they just fill it up and you knock it back. And I'd leave it like half empty and she would come up to me, she's like, their water glass isn't full. And then she would say, how could you let this happen? And I was like, I'm out of here, man.
Was this the worst person you've ever worked with? It's usually a manager, I've found. It's usually a manager with a job that doesn't matter. No offense to her.
Yeah.
And they are so determined for their job to have purpose that they kind of like project this insecurity on everyone and are like, these water glasses, if they're not full, the world will end and it's your fault.
Probably the worst people I've ever worked with are like creative people.
Oh,
you know, like when you get into the actual job, like into this biz, like they're the worst people because they've got their egos are, you know, like.
Is it when you're writing with someone or working as a group or just when you've dealt with someone?
I've worked with some bad directors. I've worked with like when I started out in theatre, you know, that was.
There'd be so much ego in there as well.
Yeah, and like I don't want to dox any names because they're still working today. But you know, there was lots of like the director turning up hungover and sort of working you too hard and like kind of burping in my face sometimes and really some real sad individuals.
Just like a caricature of a director. My high school drama teacher, there were two, and one of them, he was a very nice man, but one of them, he was every single day at school he had a coffee mug full of red wine, and we all knew it. And he was kind of like, you know, always had a 5 o'clock shadow, always looked like he just slept in the office, would come down late for class, and you know, everyone thought he was this like genius. Everyone was like, oh my God, everything. He loved Tom Waits. You know, like it was just...
The line between genius and alcoholic is, you know, such a thin line, isn't it?
Yeah.
I dance on that line, but no one thinks I'm a genius.
You do have a problem. No.
This is an intervention.
I love our high school drama teacher. I remember when we did the Crucible at high school and I played obviously the lead role. And
just had to
Abigail.
Put it in, and Abigail.
Abigail.
Wait, I didn't even know this play, so I don't get the joke. It's all I assume it killed.
It's all like witches in Salem, Massachusetts,
right?
And I, you know, had this big angry scene, and in the script, I think he like slaps
Proctor.
John Proctor slaps Abigail or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously, if it was a whole bunch of like 17-year-olds and you're doing it at high school, you'd change it or you'd stage slap. And I remember the teachers being like, you got to slap them. And the girl being like,
God.
I want you to slap me. And
no.
it was so insane. And then the teacher's like, I'll show you. And then with the other teacher who was directing, they were co-directing, she was like a maths teacher. He's like, here we go. And she's like, he'll slap me and we'll just show you how to do it. And then this teacher just like slapped the other teacher across the face. And she was like, there you go. You can take it. It's fine.
No.
And then every night I'd slap this like 16-year-old.
Oh my God.
There's no way we can't do this play justice by missing out this one scene.
But also how the
and
teachers
you were doing it powerful as well.
demonstrated it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I was having a good go. I was getting worked up. It was horrible. It was so bad. But she was like, I want you to slap me. But we were all like 16 and just thought we were making like life-changing theatre. But
Yeah.
Yes,
I was
our school was like that. Our school was thought it was way too involved in drama. Everyone who just took drama seriously had the worst score at the end of the year because they just were like, maths, who cares?
Yeah.
English, what does that mean? And just put all their effort into their monologues.
Yeah.
And then all the school play that, you know, people would come to, all the mums and dads would come, and at the end my mum said to me at the end, she said, yeah, was that supposed to make sense? Or I said,
That rules.
yeah, but we thought it was
my
incredible.
mum said she was that after my Comedy Fest shows.
That's supposed to make sense.
It's supposed to make sense.
It was
Yes,
meant to be
Helen.
confusing and
It's
not
It
funny,
just
right?
wasn't supposed to
Of
make
course you
sense.
wouldn't get it, Helen. You don't drink red wine in the morning. You idiot.
That's not true. I've met your mum.
I
She
know,
does.
she would. Yeah, she absolutely would. Yeah, it's white wine, Chardonnay, loaded wedges.
Yeah. Is she a shardy lady
Honestly,
as well?
what a combo, eh?
I
A Smirnoff,
know.
I'd love now. Like, should we just wrap
Yes.
this podcast up and then go some
There's a
Smirnoff?
BWS right here. I reckon we all go get a Smirnoff and sit in the car
I
park.
fucking love loaded wedges. Like, it's humiliating to order, but like, no, like, don't lie. Like, it's what everyone wants to eat.
Oh, delicious.
I like the nachos at a pub. Nachos and a beer.
Actually,
You
now
can't-
I'm getting flashbacks to when I was in that bar, and I would the thing is like if you got to make the wedges, like if someone ordered them, you're like, I'll go make them because you'd always make
Oh,
a
you
little
had to
bit.
make them.
Yeah, because like the kitchen guys would go home and then we'd run the bar snacks afterwards, which is just frying shit, which was fucking. That's fun. Oh, I
Man,
fucking
I-
loved frying shit.
I got so
good
fat
on
when I
you.
worked because I used to steal a chip every
Yeah.
time I went past the thing.
I
chefs hated it, but I'd be like,
steal a chip. I would make like 2 servings of wedges. And
then
then
you'd
be
have
like,
one.
that's my one, and that's the one that they ordered. And I do that every time someone ordered
One
wedges.
for
I was having
me.
like 9 bowls of loaded wedges a night. I was just like, this
I
is
used to eat
this
like
dude
arancini
rules.
balls with cheese in it every day. I'm like, why am I so fat? And I'm like,
sprinkling like cheese all over it, bacon. Like
Preparing.
my wedges were better than theirs.
I put effort into mine.
Give them the offcuts. You were preparing for your role as Santa.
I
Look,
was.
that's dedication.
I was.
That's what actors do.
They do. Oh, actually, yeah, I went full Daniel Day-Lewis on it. Full method.
Now, Chris, your show is called.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't throw my phone off this bridge.
I love it so much. I love it
It's
so much.
honestly too long.
It's so
long,
good.
but it's fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
And I
And
mean it.
this year you're in the Western for the
Yeah.
Melbourne Comedy Festival,
It's a lovely
which is
5-star
where
hotel.
it is beautiful. And then
Yeah.
so Brady, you and I, we all had the same
Yes.
venue
Oh,
last
I know
year.
where this is going.
Yes, and what I wanted to raise this
have I
because you've not done anything.
Oh.
You've actually been perfect, and I love you forever. But Blake, on the other hand, I have a bone to pick, and I would like to do it on this podcast. You and I, Chris Parker, had to sit in the foyer of the Western, and like just next to the elevators, and we and like people would come out because you are quite famous. People, we had to sit right next to your venue, so people were like turning up for your show and then seeing you, and you had to do this like, hey, hi, and then people come out of the elevator and be like, oh, there he is. Like it was just quite like it wasn't ideal, and we were like, God, would it be nice to get? And you every night you'd have to buy yourself a $14 can of wine.
Yeah.
You know? And
It was expensive.
A can of wine is so gross to say.
I know,
as
but
well.
there's just like no.
showbiz.
There was no drinks, there was no green room, and we just put up with it because we're like, that's okay. Well, no one else has. Like, why should we get one if no one else gets one? And then I spoke to Brady, who was in the same venue, and I said to him about halfway through, "Oh shit, there's no green room though, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yes, there is." And I said, "Where?" And he goes, "There is one." And then he kind of like laughed, that delicate little laugh of his, and then walked away. And I was like, he's joking. Like I'd know, Chris would know. They would have at least told Chris where it is. And then on the last night, I finished my show. I was like so excited, so elated. I'd finished the whole run. I was walking out and I see Brady Blake walking down this hallway, and then he just turns quite suddenly and walks through a door that I'd never seen anyone walk in or out of.
Well, you wouldn't have because I've got a card.
And I was like, what? And then Brett pops his head back out at me and goes, come in here. And I was like, what is that? I walk in, there's lounges, there's
Yeah.
like a rum and coke there for him, beers there for him.
Is it still there now?
Yeah.
Is it for us? No. Is it for Brady Blake? Yep. The guy who's running this venue.
It's my
walked-
phone, is it?
That's all right. Doesn't matter.
That's okay. That's okay.
might
It's
be
probably
able
the
to hear
Western calling saying she's lying.
So-
but I'm not lying because like I said, the guy who's running the Western came in to my room just the other night and said, "Hi, you're back. Welcome. It's nice to have you back." And I said, "Yeah, it's good to be back." And I was annoyed that it was like, obviously that wasn't for us. So I said,
Was it your own room?
it was his own. And I said to him, so I just remember last year, I remember from last year because I'd sat in the foyer a lot with Chris Parker, like we just sat.
You're really using my name around here.
Yes.
Yeah, don't drag him down in your
No,
fucking
I
race.
will. And
No wonder
then-
I've been in the cold shoulder of the Western.
Yeah.
and he
Me and
goes-
Chris have a problem with you.
No, it's fine. He goes, "Oh, my favourite comedian's not back this year." And I said, "I think I know who it is." And he goes, "Yeah, Brett Blake." And I said, "Yeah, I heard last year he
Well-
got his own green room."
Well,
and he goes, "I thought he'd be like, oh, that's a misunderstanding. Oh, yeah, you're welcome to it." And he went, "Yeah, that is just for him."
They fucking love me.
They love you.
Because
Wow.
the first day I went in there was like, I was like, oh, because it's like I'm a fish out of water in this 5-star hotel. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. Oh, I'm Brett. How are you, man? Oh, this is awesome. And on top of that, so they go, and I was in the office and they go, man, there's soda machines.
You were in the
here."
office?
Yeah, I'm in the office. They're like,
my God.
have all the tea and coffee you want, all the soft drink you want, not a stress at all, mate. And I was like, oh, is there like a green room? They're like, oh, not really, but you can have this room. It's got like lounge chairs and shit in it. It's fucking awesome. I spend hours in there each time before my show. I love it so much. And then, because I got so chummy with them. Mind you, the year before I bought them all a bottle of wine and shit. I
can get that for
so you
free,
don't remember
though.
this stuff. And then what they were doing is because because I'd be like, oh, don't open the door for me. I'm bloody working class man. I open my fucking own door. So they would have an ice bucket on the way up the stairs, an ice bucket with a Crown Lager in it for me, just sitting there automatically.
You're
Everything.
kidding me.
So when I walked in, they'd be like, "It's there for you, Brett," and I just walk in, crack the beer, walk upstairs. They love me there.
Like
my
treated like a
God.
king.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like I'm a
know.
rat running
I
through this
know.
5-star. I'm like,
Exactly.
like
Do you remember
scurrying
last-
around the corners. And
I
then,
don't think I ever paid for a drink there.
and there's this tiny
I paid for
little
one
like,
last night.
there's a tiny little office nook. Do you know the little office nook
yes,
where there's
yes,
like
yeah.
a computer and I
Yeah.
hide in there, just like in the shadows, like a
Yeah,
ghost,
please
like
don't
a
look at me.
Victorian ghost, just like trying to write my show as people walk
man,
past.
the
And I'm
green-
like, hope they don't look at me.
The green room is literally the size of this
It's
building.
huge.
It's
With
got a TV in there.
lounges.
It's got like
Oh.
2 or 3 couches. I slept in there for an hour. It's beautiful.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's very upsetting.
What the
I know. So this is what we are given nothing, and this
This
guy's
riot.
given.
Well, you're looking at.
so
But
upset.
I think it's because I started off on the good foot. I introduced myself. They're like,
Yeah,
introduced myself.
shit.
And look at this
You,
guy.
you
He
went
doesn't
in, you
belong
went, can you smile?
Yeah. Oh, your back hurts, does it?
Oh,
I want
well.
at least a room there, I think, for one night.
Oh, I looked at it.
That'd be nice.
It's like $700.
Yeah, I'm not
a night.
paying for it.
Well,
but
you could get
yeah.
it for free, Brett.
Well, they
Yeah.
actually offered me a staff discount on when I said I was going to stay there for 3 nights. So it was
I
pretty
even
good.
asked, this is how embarrassing this is, because I just wanted to see just how little they thought of me. I went to the drinks counter last night and I said, could I please have a can of rosé? And is there a discount?
And they said-
she said, no discount.
I don't think from that little bar I have ever been charged, and I'd
How
buy.
is this?
I'm
it's just
charming because I'm like,
disgusting.
"G'day,
Yeah,
legends.
fuck,
How are
that's
you,
all.
mate? Oh my god, you having a great day." I remember all their
I'm
names.
going to put
and
that
shit.
on. I reckon.
You
I'm gonna-
got to be like, I'm
Just
over the
see.
top with them.
I'm going
I
to
think
see.
they'll see it in me and they'll go, that feels disingenuous.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You didn't. 'cause you
Yeah,
didn't-
mate, how you like? It's just
yeah, but you've done 3 years of being like not looking him in the eye. Then all of a sudden, then you're like, I think it's your
nice
energy.
to them.
I think this is a
No
reflection
way.
on you
I'm
guys.
actually so nice to them, and I gave
But Bron,
her an
you do
option.
have resting, bitch.
Pardon?
face. You do have.
What?
See, You've-
I'm so angry.
I sent you. So the roller door again. You expect me to crawl under the roller door? Do
Yeah,
you?
that's what Brett wanted me to do before this
There's a
podcast
gap
started.
in the roller door.
Roll under the roller door, Bron. It's what's the big
Like
deal?
we're evacuating a plane.
It was like 3 meters.
Okay, come on, we got to wrap this up.
All right, we
Chris
gotta go.
Parker, thank you so much. Tell us more. How long are you in the country for?
I'm doing the month here and then I'm doing Sydney. Don't know when, but you'll find it. And Brisbane,
Yeah.
don't know when, but you'll find
It's
it.
all on
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got New Zealand listeners, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Heaps.
Yeah,
Heaps.
actually, you're a big deal in New Zealand, Brett. You
Yeah.
probably get free things there too.
Yeah.
Actually,
Paid
no,
for
no,
something.
I bombed it. The only
did
comedy
you?
gig I didn't.
Oh,
they
yeah,
hated me. They
really?
were-
Really? I thought they'd love you.
Oh, it was a Thursday night, and there was like 20 people there.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a hard
that's
one.
right. And we are assholes.
Yeah.
And they were
too
also like,
hard.
why is he so loud?
Oh yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Even from my family members.
Yeah.
They're spinning on your pillow.
Spinning on, why is he so loud?
I love the fact they're still doing it now.
Yeah, good night.
And then you're like, there's simply no other options. I got to lie in this bottle.
Okay, so you got Melbourne, then Sydney, then Brisbane.
Yeah, it's all in the link in the bio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Link in
and it's-
bio.
and it's also-
Everyone's following you already. There's
Yeah.
no point in
No,
telling
they
them
are
to follow
not.
you.
All right. Well,
They
thank you
are.
so much for joining us.
Thank
Make
you,
sure you
Christopher.
check out Bron throughout the rest of the festival. Bron, what's your show again?
It's called Obviously.
Obviously. There
Obviously.
you go. And guys, I've retired from comedy, so
Yeah.
you'll never see me
Catch him
again.
at the golf course.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll be at the Westin in my green room. All right.
Thanks, guys.
I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets, like real bullets.
Kill me.